Hello, Hero Collectors here. How's it going, everybody? Hope you all are doing fantastic. I know I am. Today, we're going to be reviewing these two Marvel Legends figures. We have the Dark Wolverine from the Mini Comics Wave and Dark Ms.Marvel. They call her Dark Warbird, but it's Dark Ms.Marvel. They're both from the Dark Avengers, so I thought it'd be a good pairing for a review, even though they didn't come out in the same wave or the same way, because Dark Warbird was an exclusive, or a fan channel exclusive, I should say. So we're going to take a look at both of these today. If you guys want to see some comparisons and some actual head swaps that I did, go check out the unboxings. I will try to link those up in the top card at the beginning of each segment of each figure. So if you want to see more, check those out. But for right now, let's get into the review. All right, starting off the review, let's take a look at Dark Ms.Marvel, aka Carla, aka Moonstone, or Meteorite, as she's known. She is normally a supervillain, but in Norman Osborn's Dark Avengers, she becomes the Dark Ms.Marvel of his team. I do like this costume, and it kind of resembles one of Ms.Marvel's original classic costumes, but is just slightly different. You can see the hair is a little, caked in paint. I think it's because the plastic was molded in, this lighter blonde, and then it got the darker yellow painted on, so it just looks a little rough and caked on, in my opinion. There's some kind of black marks there. That was some extra paint that I kind of scratched off. You don't normally see that on the figure, so it's not a big deal for me overall. The chest emblem here does look a little faded, almost like it needed another coat of paint, which I would have liked to have seen, but it's still fine. It just, especially at this angle, you can start to see a little red coming through, but kind of from above, it's not as bad. You can see the rest of the body. It's just some red and black plastic with some paint to, show the different parts of the costume. I will say the paint on the boots doesn't line up perfectly, so it does look a little rough in a few spots there. She's got the scarf. I don't think this is new. I think we've seen this before. It's a more pliable plastic, and it goes around the neck. This body is actually not reused from the Marvel's 85th anniversary Ms.Marvel figure. This is actually reuse of the Phoenix body, so it's got super articulation, but it's not the larger proportions on the arms and the legs and the torso. So she's got all the new articulation, but not quite the same size as normal Ms.Marvel. So yeah, that's basically it for the figure. And as you can see, she comes with a set of fists and a set of kind of wide open expression hands that we see on a lot of female figures, along with two energy effects that we see with a lot of other figures as well. They just kind of wrap around the wrists, or if you want to wrap them around the legs and whatnot, they work just fine. And then lastly, she has a powered up head. Both of these heads are the exact same heads that came with Ms.Marvel from the previous figure that I mentioned earlier. So I don't know. I would have liked to have seen some new heads, new variety to change it up. Carla is usually a meaner character, so I would have liked to seen angrier expressions, but it is what it is. Okay, so getting into articulation, she is rather limited. So she has a ball at the top of the neck, which really limits, especially with this hair. So she can look down a little bit and look up not very much. Now, the alternate head does have a little bit more range just because the hair gets out of the way, but she can look up a little bit more, down a bit, and she has better time turning with this head. And the scarf does kind of limit the articulation as well, but the costume just does not look complete without it. So we'll leave this head on for the rest of the segment, but she has butterfly joints. Now, if you kind of move the shoulder, she can, help get in crossbody a little bit more, and a lot more back movement. Shoulders go up and they go down. Full 360, you got to watch the hair, bicep swivel. Double jointed pinless elbows, go all the way up. All the hands hinge up and down. She has the super articulated torso, so just the top part of the torso can go back that far. Forward, not so much. The lower articulation can go that far back, that far forward, but with all of them combined, that far forward and that far back. So there. She does not have drop-down hips, but her hips can go out that far. She can kick forward quite a bit, and not really any back. She does have a thigh cut, double jointed pinless knees, and she can kick her own butt. No boot swivel, ankles go down and up, and she does have ankle pivot. So with all that out of the way, what are my final thoughts on Dark Ms.Marvel? So, the Dark Avengers is a team that I've really been wanting to build out, and I'll mention this again with Dark Wolverine. But to get these updates and to really be filling out this team is something that I'm very happy about in general, despite the problems that these figures have. But there are some problems with these figures. First off, the heads. I would have liked to have seen some alternate heads than what we got with the first Ms. Marvel. It's a totally different character. It would have just been nice to get some alternate expressions and some more personalized touches to Carla herself. The paint on the star, the boots, and on the hair is just a little rough. It could have been a lot cleaner. It's a fine at a distance, but up close it can really be distracting. And I don't know, maybe some more power effects. You know, we get these wraparound wrist effects a lot, so those I would have, liked to have seen done differently or given us something additional just to make it more engaging. But overall, that's really it. The neck articulation could have been improved, but I get why it's not. Hair, lots of hair, the scarf, it causes that kind of problem. So I will forgive that a bit more. And I am very happy with the body choice that they did, and the costume does look pretty decent despite the paint problems. Like I said, at a distance, it'll look pretty good standing with the rest of my Dark Avengers. So overall, I'm happy to have this, despite the problems that the figure does have. Does she have the fun factor? Part of me wants to say yes, but part of me also wants to say no. I had more fun posing Dark Wolverine than I did her. Not that there's anything seriously wrong posing the figure. I don't know. I just wasn't as inspired with her. But that's more personal preference, I think, more than anything. If you like this character more than Dark Wolverine, you'll probably have a better time. And then for a final rating, I will give her a 7 out of 10. That's about my average. I think the fact that we got this character and the fact that it's on a better body, and at least, again, she can look good at a distance paired with the team. The problems of the paint, and I would have liked to have seen more alternate heads or different heads in general. If we would have gotten those, I would have put her much higher. If she would have gotten some new heads and the paint problems weren't there, I probably would have given her a 9 out of 10. But those two issues really bring her down for me. All right, taking a closer look at Dark Wolverine now. Again, if you want to see some comparisons, I do compare this guy to the original Dark Wolverine figure that I have. I've had that guy since 2012. So if you want to see that comparison, you can go check out that video. But yeah, taking a look at this guy, this is a much improved figure. Built off the pinless Sunfire body with some improvements, I think, in the arms. These are actually new arms, I believe. I don't remember the veins actually being there. And then, of course, he's got the Wolverine boots. As you can see, this is a brown costumed Wolverine, which is mainly his go-to in terms of imitation Wolverine costumes. He's got the red belt. Come down there. Not a lot of paint detail on the back except what's necessary. As you can see. And then, of course, one of the eye catchers is the tattoo. I think it's executed pretty well here. And I actually bought 2 of this figure. And on both copies, the tattoo looks really good. You can see them under the camera. This is pretty harsh. You can see like a difference in the skin tone. In hand, the shoulder paint for the skin tone looks a lot better than it does here going through the camera. Then you can see the expression there. He's got a very, very creepy smile or grin. Big point of contention, the color of the claws. I understand that it bothers some people. It does bother me to an extent. They really shouldn't be silver. They should be either black or more of a bone color. The fact that we're even getting this figure just makes me happy, so I'm willing to forgive it. And I wish they would have done one of those colors, but I'm still very happy. So yeah, there is kind of the overview of the figure. Let's take a look at accessories. First up, he has these sets of hands that have the 3 claws. He has the one that comes out of the wrist and then 2 that come out of the knuckles. 1 fist with 2 claws coming out of the knuckles, no wrist claw, and then 1 grip hand with no claws ejected. And that's it for hands. And then because he is from the mini comic wave, he does come with the mini comic of Dark Avengers #1. I actually have this issue, so that's really cool to have. And it's got the Marvel Legends series printed there on the back. And yeah, there's the cover, and then he does come with an alternate head with his beautiful mohawk, as you can see, and he's got kind of like a smirk expression going on there. So that's everything with the figure. Let's go over the articulation now. So first up, his head is on a ball and hinge, so he can look up that far. He can look down decently, and then he can look side to side, and he does have a little bit of head wobblage. The articulation with the unmasked head is a little bit limited just because of the way the mohawk lays, but he can still look up pretty high. And then, yeah, he does get a little bit of wobblage with this head too. But let's put the other one back on. Like so. He does have butterflies. So they go that far back, that far forward. You can cut the shoulder paint if you are not careful. Shoulders can go up that far and do a full 360. Biceps swivel. Double jointed pinless elbows. All of the hands hinge up and down, or back, I guess. That would be up, and that would be down, sorry. I always do that backwards, I guess. And then he's got an ab crunch that goes that far forward, that far back. He's got the waist swivel, and the belt can get out of the way for that. Hips go out that far. He does kick forward. He does not really kick back much. He's got a thigh cut. Double jointed pinless knees, and can he do it? Yes, he can kick his own butt, but you got to really push that joint there. He does not have any boot rotation. Ankles hinge forward, they go back, and he does have ankle pivot. So, what are my final thoughts on this Dark Wolverine figure? So getting into my final thoughts, I'm going to say a few negatives, but I am just going to preface this by saying I am very happy with getting an update to this character. So that is going to affect my final thoughts in that I am kind of biased. But getting into the kind of bad of the figure, again, the claw color, we talked about that a little bit. That should have been something else instead of the silver. While we're sticking with the hands, he really should have come with a few other sets of hands. I appreciate that they threw in the 2 clawed hands. I would have liked a proper set of those. And then I would have liked to have a set of fists as well. I feel like that should be a given with every Wolverine figure. And while I do appreciate that they gave us the 3 claws, which we didn't get originally on the other figure, it's just, why would you go halfway with the 2 claws and not give us a full set of those and then just give us the just simple fisted hands? I'm sure people might be upset with the body choice. I'm perfectly fine with it. I think the Sunfire body is a perfect choice. It's tall, it's slender, but it still has some good articulation. Otherwise, I don't really have any other problems. You know, it's mainly just in regards to the hands, and I would have liked to have seen more there. But I understand why people are quite upset with that in regards to this figure. So, I mean, maybe the boot articulation should have been there. I was still able to get most of the poses I wanted without it. Despite all that, I think it's still a solid figure and solid release. And yes, again, I am biased because I've been wanting this update for a while. Does he have the fun factor? Oh yeah, it's a Wolverine figure. I always have fun. I was really inspired and took a lot more photos than I originally planned. So yes, he does have the fun factor there. And in terms of a final rating, again, keep in mind, I am actually really upset about the hands, but I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. The fact that we got an update to this character is fantastic. I've wanted an update of him for years. I want them to do more Akihiro Dark Wolverine figures. I'm working on customs of some. I want more of this character, and I want all of his looks. I want a lot of Wolverine-related stuff, so again, I'm biased, but I hope this figure does well, and Hasbro takes it as people want more of this character, because I certainly do. And despite the problems that this figure has, I hope that when Hasbro goes to make another look or another costume, they fix the issues, mainly being in regards to the hands and claws. So those are my final thoughts. All right, and that was my review of these two Dark Avengers figures, Dark Wolverine and Dark Ms.Marvel. Let me know what you thought of the review down in the comments below. Did you pick these figures up? Do you agree with my thoughts and feelings, or do you disagree? Leave everything down in the comments below. And while you're down there, make sure you like the video. Make sure you are subscribed because I will be doing more reviews very, very soon. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel to check all that out. And with all that out of the way, I will talk to you all in another video, another post, another time.